beer, whatever.
I'm a chocolate man myself.
Whatever.
Alito, not too loud. Can everybody hear me? Test, test, test. I know everybody's still in line to get something to eat, but I really need y'all's help today. One of our Choctaw artists came down to do the lunch and learn and be one of the artists in the lobby, and he had something really bad happen Saturday night. And it took all he could to come down and be with us. He keeps his word. And he wanted to honor his word to be here. So if y'all could please give him a hand, I really need y'all to help him bring it up because he didn't want to be here today, but he came anyway. Would you please give him a hand, Jerry Cole? You can do it. Come on. Come on. Come on.
We gotta get loud, y'all. Let's
Yeah,
get
come
loud.
on.
Loud?
Come on.
We gotta get loud.
It's okay. Come on. There you go. It's on.
I don't know whether I can do this or not.
Is it on?
I'll try. Bear with me. Now, if I break down, please forgive me. Something terrible, terrible happened Saturday night. Sheila invited me down. I told her I would come. I'm a man of my word. I'm here, but this is not easy. Please bear with me. When something terrible happens, I've talked to psychologists, I've heard them on TV, I've talked to doctors. If you can write your feelings down, it helps. So Sunday I took a piece of paper and I wrote this down. Bear with me, and I'm going to try to get through it. The title of this is At Rest. For me, she was the best. Now, after only a few short years, she's at rest. I'll no longer see her tantalizing gaze or her dark brown eyes. But in my heart, she'll always be. All her life, she hadn't been very far from me. At breakfast is when I'll miss her the most. Probably now, all I'll get's toast. No more butter on a biscuit. No more gravy. I'm not ashamed to admit I cried, 'cause Saturday night my old milk cow died. Thank you. What I want to do today, I want to have a little fun and then get serious. I do some writing among other things. I'm Grandpa Jerry. I was born and raised Stigler, Oklahoma, Haskell County. Some of my ancestors were the three governors, the McCurtain brothers. I'm extremely proud of that. I was one of 9 kids. My mom and dad had an uncle lived with us, 5-room house. I didn't know what it was like to sleep by myself till I got married. I've been married almost 54 years to one woman. Second of next month will be 54 years. Somebody asked me the other day how I managed that. I'm going to tell you. All you young bucks, pay attention. The night I got married, I pulled my pants off, I threw them at her, and I said, if they fit, you wear them. She couldn't get in them, and I knew I'm in trouble, so for the next almost 54 years, I just keep my mouth shut and do what I'm told. Man asked me what I did for my 50th wedding anniversary, and I said just whatever my wife told me to do. I'm an alcoholic. I'm proud of the fact that I haven't had any alcohol pass my lips in over 28 years. Thank you. But a few years ago, of course, I love my wife. I try to take care of her, help her as much as I can. She worked outside. I'm a taxidermist, have been for over 42 years. A man brought a buffalo in for me to mount. I had always wanted to eat some buffalo meat. There was a lot of meat still left on this buffalo, so it's still warm. I chunk it up, throw it in a pot, put some water in it. My garden's in. I get some peas, some potatoes, some onions, some corn, lots of vegetables, and put it in this pot with the buffalo meat, and I'm going to make me some buffalo stew. Hey, it is going to be good. Now, at that time, I probably had one or two more than I should have. So, a few years later, I wrote this little poem. I brung her to a boil. Put on the lid. I took a short nap. It boiled over a mite. I didn't mind. Still had enough left for supper that night. I got a bowl, filled her up, said grace like you're supposed to do. Then I sat down and really enjoyed my buffalo stew. My wife gets home about 4. Said her mouth was watering before she hit the door. She could smell it plumb out in the drive. Said it sure did make her taste buds come alive. Said she had a hunch, so she didn't eat any lunch. She just said she just knew I'd have something cooking, but he had no idea it'd be all over the range. She removed the lid, took a look, her eyes popped, her jaw dropped, as she exclaimed, "What on earth have you got in that pot?" As she turned a little pale, she shouted, "I've seen less hair in a horse's tail." I just grinned, took another bite. I told her, the best part of this stew, you can floss at the same time you chew. Bear with me, my table's not big enough. I'm a Navy veteran. Honorable discharge, I'm proud of that fact. I don't like to talk about it much, but I guess I'm lucky to get home alive. What happened, I was in the submarine Navy. I was on the tender. We had 850 men on this old ship. And the toilets we called heads. And believe you me, there is no privacy on that ship. On this side of the head, there's probably 20 commodes lined up. On this side, there's probably 12. And there's no stalls, they're just commodes sitting there. If you gotta go, you gotta go, so there you was. I walked in and right over here on this pot, this boy, and I could tell he's enjoying himself. So I just walked up and stuck my hand out and I said, "How are you?" Now, I have never seen this man before in my life. He got a hold of my hand, I shook it, and then I pulled him off the pot. You have never seen an Oklahoma tornado twist as much as that man did trying to get back on the pot. Like I say, I guess I'm lucky to get home alive. We raised 3 boys. One of them's deceased. I've got 6 grandkids, 3 great-grandkids. I love them all. They're all special. By the way, I've got a little book over there. The title of it is You Can Do It. I wrote the story. My grandkids and great-grandkids drew the pictures. Go over and take a look and buy 1 or 2. Tiffany, one of my grandkids, like I say, they're all special, but she and I just kind of hit it off good. Bless her heart, Tiffany loved to eat. She loved mulberries. And tree right over here, mulberries are almost ripe, by the way. Mulberries are ripe. She's 5-year-old. I go up, I said, "Tiff, mulberries are ripe. You want to go eat something?" "Yeah." I take her up there. The mulberry tree is right by a busy road. Terrible. I pick her mulberries. She had got mulberries all over her hands, all over her face, her lips, her cheeks. And I look out in the road. There's a dead possum laying out there. Now, it has been laying there probably at least 4 days. It smells terrible. Now, my wife is the best cook in the world. Tiffany knows it. Whatever Grandma cooks is fit to eat. Believe you me, and Tiff knows it. I said, "Oh, Tiff, look at there. We can get that possum, take it, and Grandma can make some possum stew. That'll be the best stuff you ever..." "Grandpa, that stinks." I said, "No, Grandma can make it good." I get a bag, make her hold the bag. I put the possum in it, and then I made her carry that thing about a quarter of a mile down to Grandma's house. All this time, I keep telling her how good this possum stew's gonna be. "Grandpa, it stinks." "Yeah, but old Tiff, Grandma can make it taste so good." By the time we got to the house, Tiffany is almost drooling. She is hungry. She wants some possum stew. We knock on the door and holler at Grandma. Grandma, come and see. You can make some good possum stew." That's one time I almost got a divorce. I used to think I was a cowboy. Right now, I've got 3 horses. I've got a paint, I've got a lineback done, I've got a Palomino. But my favorite horse has always been a bay. All my life, I've loved bay horses. A few years ago, I decided I'm going to get me some horses, and I look in the newspaper, and there is an ad for a bay horse for sale. I am going to buy me a bay horse. And I wrote a little poem about this. The title of this is A Horse Named Stick. All my life I've been extra fond of bay horses. Newspaper ad said, older bay horse. At being smart, I never finished any course. Both rear ankles were cut. Real bad was he scarred. Skinny to weathers, no meat on his rump, but he stood firm and hard. I brought him home, turned him loose in my backyard. Each day, I become more fond of that bait. I fed him oats and Bermuda hay. He got a little weight on his bones. I saddled him up. He wouldn't rein. He didn't know any tricks. I couldn't think of anything else to call him, so I just called him Stick. He got a little meat on his bones, but each day he was prone to eat everything in sight. Wife's flowers in the pot, the rose bushes all around the lot. As we found out, now he didn't like women, kids, dogs, cats, or goats. Now my wife's lapdog, a Chihuahua, nipped old Stick on the heel with one swift kick. That pup scalp old Stick did peel. Wife's favorite cat hung around the barn. Of it, Stick had great fear. One day, I made it disappear. The goat I traded for 2 ducks. The first time they quacked, old Stick had an attack. Kicked out the side of the barn, dented my wife's Cadillac. The deciding thing, I guess, for 3 weeks my wife was sewing the granddaughter's prom dress. She hung it on the line, you know the rest. So now, to keep from paying alimony, yeah. Bear with me. So now, to keep from paying alimony and getting a divorce, I now ride a stick named Horse. It's not a disgrace to get old, but it sure is unhandy. You lose your hair, you lose your teeth, probably the worst thing is you lose your hearing and you lose your memory. Now I talk to doctors, they say if you have a thought, for instance, I'm going to go over and get me a glass of water. I get over there and I forget what I'm there for. Doctors will tell you, come back here, that idea will come back to you, go get your water. Now, just the other night, about 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm laying in the bed, I wake up. A thought hit me. So I get up and I go to the bathroom. I go to the bathroom and I forget what I'm in there for. So I go back, I get back in, you guessed it, I just peed all over it. So once you get a thought, you want to be careful where you finish. I don't hear too well anymore. Like I said, I've been a taxidermist for over 42 years. A man and woman brought a deer in, nice deer. She's an attractive lady, but she was what I call a little fluffy. We're filling out the paperwork, and I got to put all her information on it. Name, address, where she killed her deer and everything. And I lay the card down on the table. She picks the card up and looks at it. She She shoved me close to here to this door. I bounced off the door. What? It hurt. And her husband grabbed her. What are you doing? She says, my name is Corky, not Porky. I think I may get a hearing aid. If I can find them. I've written what I call thoughts to think about. They're just little one-liners. Maybe you'll get a kick out of them. Prejudiced. To kill prejudice is like a weed. In order to kill either, you must destroy the roots. May your life's treasures be your lifestyle. Truthfulness is not an act. It is a habit. If you don't strive for perfection, you may never wind up above average. And don't carry a saw when you go out on a limb. The harder the fruit together, the better the taste. You can get through the security gate with an ironclad constitution. The door to happiness is always ajar, but you must push it open. Don't let what you know or think you know stand in the way of what you should know. Though your head's round, you must keep it level. And it's hard to follow directions if you don't have any. If you don't have any sense of directions, don't complain about where you wind up. And here's a pretty good one. If you always want things your way, you better learn to cook. Here's my wife's favorite. She says this just before she tells me to do something. You can't change your DNA, but you can change your attitude. Never plow the row more than necessary. If you wipe your feet on someone, don't expect them to offer to shine your shoes. Life does not come with erasers, but you can find U-turns. The earth will provide all the food you need except food for thought. If you dig your heels in, your toes won't be in the mud. Never build a brick wall when a picket fence will do. Don't be far away when you're there for someone. And by all means, don't hurry if you don't know where you're going. The end of the road is not as far as you can go. Entice others to work with you, not for you. And it's not how hard you blow the horn, but how soft the music comes out. Regardless of how good the soup, somebody has to wash the pot. Don't cut the tree down because one small limb is bad. In your opinion, do you get what you deserve or deserve what you get? If you don't change, will things change around you? You don't have to get your thoughts organized. It's hard to see around a large ego. Your solution may be for the wrong problem. And don't go along just to get along. Never blaze trails others can't follow. Seeds you think are worthless may turn out to be beautiful flowers. It's not what or who you are, but what you strive to be that matters. And we hope. Help me help us. And may you never look in a mirror and see someone you don't like. Here's another poem I've written. Kind of proud of. The title of this is An American Creed. I love this great country. Please show me that I am loved. I know not what the future may hold, but with faith, courage, determination, and guidance from above, I'll help it unfold. Love, guidance, and respect from you I ask. Regardless of what I did in the past, I ask compassion and forgiveness when I do wrong. I pray my mistakes will help me grow strong. Don't judge me by the things which you have done, because I know with your help the best is yet to come. Millions of veterans have fought to make this country great. For that, I say thanks. This is my prayer for all mankind. May war in my generation be left behind. Because of what I've been taught, these things I vow. I'll always practice the golden rule. Until I get my degree, I'll stay in school. I'll respect our flag and a good example try to be. I'll do my best to help us remain free. I'll respect and uphold the laws of this land. Against wrong, I will take a stand. To others, I'll try never to offend. But freedom and justice I will always defend. I'll never use the words I can't, because I know where the future is concerned, I pray. Common sense I never lack, and I will always remember impossibility is an opinion, not a fact. I've got a sign I want you to look at. We are because our veterans were. If you see a vet, thank him. Appreciate that we still are allowed our freedoms, our rights, our families, our churches. Here's another little poem I've written pertaining to our veterans. This is in memory of many and in honor of all. The title of this is Still. The Statue of Freedom still stands atop our U.S. Capitol dome. Across our vast prairies, the buffalo still roam. I still feel safe and secure in my home. 4-H, FFA, and Scouting are still going strong. If you promote patriotism, you won't go wrong. We still enjoy singing that America the Beautiful song. In D.C., old Abe still sits tall in his chair. I think when no one's looking, he bows his head in prayer. The lady in the harbor still holds her torch high. We still enjoy celebrating the 4th of July. And though she's cracked, I'll bet the Liberty Bell would still toll loud, long, and clear for everyone to hear. We're still free. As I said before, I've been a taxidermist for over 42 years. At one time I had a bunch of rattlesnakes I kept to show the scouts. There's a lady came out to the shop to pick up one of her crappie she'd caught, and I had it hanging above the rattlesnake cage. Now these snakes can't get out. I never get them out to play with them, but I feed them rats and mice. And I had just dumped 2 mice into the cage, and they had just eaten one. I tell the lady before I take her in there, look, your crappie is just above the snake cage, but the snakes can't get out. They can hurt you. Don't be scared of them. So she goes in there and she looks up, saw her crappie, says, oh, that crappie is beautiful. Well, about that time, the rattlesnakes start rattling. She goes berserk. She starts jumping, screaming, hollering, waving her arms. I jumped in front of her in the snake cage. Lady, they can't get out. They can't hurt you. About that time, she just peed all over herself. And she looks and she says, it's not the snake, it's the mouse I don't like. If a little bit more, that's the, let me see. Bear with me a minute. Here's some more thoughts to think about. These are kind of comical, I think. The trouble with bucket seats, everybody ain't got the same size bucket. And it's not the color of the pill that cures you. Eating lots of fish won't help you to swim better. And regardless of what your sis tells you, mud pies will never taste good. Don't eat lots of beans on the first date. Don't feed your lapdog beans. And never startle a man that eats lots of prunes. Don't slap a man that chews tobacco. Can snow peas be grown in a warm climate? Where do you get the seeds to plant a seedless watermelon? And I want you to really pay attention to this. When with the diarrhea, may you have the correct change for the pay toilet. This is the poor boy's lament. If we had some ham, we'd have ham and eggs if we had some eggs. She had an hourglass figure, but the hour was getting late. The bucket for my bucket list has got a hole in it. All my roads to success have always been under construction. How many rocks does it take to make a pile of rocks? And it's hard to hide in short grass. It's hard to see a black cow at night. You don't have to feed a stick horse. It's hard to unscramble a scrambled egg. And this is probably my favorite. It's hard to keep a dirt floor clean. There's 24 hours in a day, if you count the night. Square dancing is done in a circle. Who drew the circle in the Arctic? And if there's any cowboys in here, a steer is generally hard to. You can't stir an empty pot. And it's hard to eat with the fork in the road. Better late than never, depends on where you're going. The chicken don't quit scratching just because it's not finding any worms. The temperature will rise or fall 1 degree at a time. You didn't start your life by running. And it's not hard to train a mouse to eat cheese. And ladies, pay attention to this. It takes a fast lady to outrun the runner in her pantyhose. Don't jump in the pile of leaves till you know where your rake is. If you want people to remember you, just borrow some money off of them. It's hard to drown the fish. And here is my very favorite. It's good to get to lick the spoon. And you don't know me very well, but don't ever make me so happy I break out in song. I like to give some advice. It's rare when anybody takes it, but a few years ago I had a nephew that's going off to college. They're having him a going away party. I go up there, and my sis asked me to give him a little advice. I'm the oldest in the family. 2 years later, he was in junior college. One of his professors asked him if anybody that had ever given him some advice that he will probably remember all his life. And they were telling me that he remembered what I told him. And I hope all of you, wherever you go, whenever you go, you'll remember this. Don't ever take a laxative and a sleeping pill at the same time. This thing I do a lot for Boy Scouts, schools, but it is appropriate for all ages. This little poem won second place, State of Oklahoma, in 2009. I'm extremely proud of it. It is just as appropriate for you as it is a 10-year-old. The title of this is Hero. Everybody needs a hero they can look up to. In this day and age, heroes are few. You can make a difference if you only believe. Remember, great deeds were small when they were first conceived. Always stand up for what is right, and your future will always be bright. Always do something for others and expect nothing in return. Always give more than you take. If you're doing your best, never fret about your mistakes. You're only a failure if you choose to be. Never, never say, I can't do that, it's much too hard for me. Remember, when you start, the job's half done. Now, all you have to do is finish. From tough tasks, never run. To others, the kindness you show just may take root and grow. Always be proud of what you say or do. Always, always stand up for the red, white, and blue. And someone's hero just possibly will be you. In closing, don't I get an applause for that? In closing, this will be my prayer for all of you. May your life's road be long. May you hear more laughter than you see tears. May you never growl from hunger. May your heart never pound from fear. And may the ones you love always be near. Thank you.